education specialist, Kim Bernard, who's in the office there answering and taking care of helping callers there at the Helping Seniors information line at 321-473-7770. That's a free call. And now Helping Seniors is in our 10th year of serving seniors here in Brevard County and providing the county's senior information helpline. So excited about what we have today on the radio program. We have a really interesting show prepared. We have guests. The first half of the show, we're going to be speaking with some friends from CareerSource Brevard, as well as AARP Foundation's Back to Work 50 Plus program. And then during the second part of the show, we're going to have an interesting conversation with Dr. Lee Sheldon, who is noted area periodontist, longtime friend of the Helping Seniors Radio Network. And for those of you that may recall, you may have seen him in a newspaper recently. I guess there's a lot of talk these days about fluoridation, if it's still necessary in our drinking water and things like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in the second half of this radio show. But during the first part, it's going to be a pleasure to welcome our friends from the CareerSource Brevard, and we're going to be talking a little bit about some amazing opportunities that they have. We're going to talk actually about a program that they have, which is called the Microsoft Office Digital Literacy Workshops. Really important opportunity to better your own computer skills. And then we're also going to talk about the AARP Foundation's Back to Work 50 Plus program. So on the line with us today is actually Deidre McVay-Schumeister, who is the Programming and Planning Officer with CareerSource Brevard. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you today?
Doing so good. Thank you, guys. I know you're busy serving people throughout Brevard County kind of on a continuous basis, and I guess as things are opening back up, probably more so now than ever. So I really appreciate you taking time from your schedule to join us on the radio today.
Absolutely. We're so excited to be here and to discuss our programs that we have, especially to help those within our 50-plus population. We're so excited to be here, Kerry.
Thank you for saying that, and thank you for the work that you guys do, because, Joe Steckler, our president and founder, he's retired Navy captain. He's 87 years old, going strong, and still 100% dedicated to helping seniors with all kinds of things. And as we go along, seniors, they're trying to find things that are going to be good for them, stimulating and helpful, and maybe financially helpful, which is, I guess, where some of the job stuff comes in. But maybe why don't you start talking a little bit about, for folks that maybe, we have so many people moving into this area, number one. I mean, the population of the Space Coast is growing like crazy. So there may be people who are not even familiar with CareerSource Brevard who need to know that you guys are here and the kind of ways that you can help folks.
Absolutely, Kerry. So CareerSource Brevard, everyone, Workforce Development Board, located here in Brevard County. We have 3 offices located in Rockledge, Palm Bay, and Titusville. And what our organization does is we serve as a catalyst, if you will, between the industries and education institutions. And we work together with those entities to serve the job-seeking community, unite those entities together to find ways to be able to help our community find employment. And we do this through employment readiness training and workshop programs. We provide access to training opportunities to eligible individuals. We serve anywhere from young adults as well as our 50-plus population, which we'll go into more detail here soon. And then we also help, and through this process, we help everyone overcome employment barriers that they face. And we definitely have a dedicated staff who specialize in different aspects to being able to serve Brevard County.
And that's so important, because the fact that you're able to help people of all ages that are appropriate for the workforce is so important, because I was thinking too, we're aware of a lot of programs a lot of times where in these days, even the grandparents are finding themselves helping the younger members of the family along and getting them pointed in the right direction. And just knowing that there's a resource like what you guys do through CareerSource Brevard is so important. I wanted to ask you if you wanted to share a little bit. I know one of the topics we talked about, I'm really excited to hear about, is this Microsoft Office digital literacy, because, one of the things that you brought out, particularly if we've been kind of homebound for the past year, number one, we may not have necessarily kept up with, kind of the latest and greatest. And more important, maybe we even need to brush up a little bit on our skills in terms of just how we get back out in the marketplace and things like that. Do you want to talk maybe a little bit about that and some of the things that you think could be beneficial for seniors listening today?
Absolutely. So Department of Labor statistics have released that from last year until May, over 7,000 job postings within our county alone relate to looking for someone that has a proficiency in Microsoft Office products as a holistic concept, or even just a specific product or two. So we, myself and Lois, came together and was able to figure out what can we do to be able to better serve our 50-plus population. And that is the expansion of this Microsoft Digital Literacy Training Seminars. And these are in collaboration with our friends over at Brevard Adult Education. They are working with us to provide instructors to be able to help our 50-plus population who sign up to do our program to be able to get a better grasp on how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, as well as Outlook. So these are really great classes. They're one per day for a couple of hours, and these are just really great courses to be able to have that one-on-one personal attention, and also to be able to have someone right there with you to help you through growing more confidence in yourself to be able to use those products and be able to go into a job interview and say, I am working on getting more proficient in using the Microsoft computer products, and I'm taking courses to be able to help me so that way I can be more marketable and get myself out there more confidently. So in order to be eligible for this program, we ask that those who want to participate in our Microsoft Digital Literacy seminars sign up to participate in our Back to Work 50-plus program, which I'm going to let Lois chime here in a minute to describe that. But once you sign up for that, Lois will then be able to share with you how to officially sign up for the seminars. We want our 50-plus population to be able to gain all aspects of services through this wonderful relationship we have with AARP, and we want to be able to first be able to get them through the Back to Work 50-plus program, and then this program is an enhanced experience opportunity, if you will.
That's so exciting. We're talking with Deidre McVay-Schumeister, who is Programming and Planning Officer with CareerSource Brevard, and we're talking actually about some upcoming classes that are going to be available through the AARP Foundation's Back to Work 50-plus program about Microsoft Office digital literacy workshops. And, as you were telling us about that, Deidre, I was thinking about actually a little anecdote that happened in our own family. Now, this goes back a few years, but our youngest daughter was taking some classes in her high school education, and she had an elective that came up, and it was called Microsoft Office. And I thought, well, I already know how to use Microsoft Office, and I remember telling her this is going to be very valuable for anything that you want to do down the road career-wise. You need to understand what you can do with Word. You need to understand Excel. You need to understand those kind of tools because everybody in the marketplace is looking for them. And I said this very kind of like almost pompously, like I know everything there is to know about Microsoft Office. So she takes the class, and fast forward maybe 3, 4, 5 months, I'm trying to figure something out on an Excel spreadsheet. She comes in, looks over my shoulder and goes, "Dad, you're doing that the hard way. Let me show you this." And she proceeds to show me all these shortcuts and things that I'd never been exposed to. So I guess my point of the story is, even if you think you have some proficiency, there is so much that people who really understand this program can share with you, and the amount of time that it will save and the amount of proficiency you will gain, I think, will be just off the chart.
I absolutely agree, Kerry. And this is an exciting opportunity that the AARP Foundation and the Back to Work 50-plus program has has been so supportive of us to be able to provide this type of program and make this program happen for Brevard County. So we're really looking forward to making that happen, and I'm actually going to pass the ball off to Lois to talk about the Back to Work 50 Plus program. That way, because the main thing is we really want people to be able to do the Back to Work 50 Plus program first, so they can get that really nice overview on how to really go after applying for jobs in the job market, and then be further eligible for the Microsoft Digital Literacy Seminar. So, Lois, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm here, Deidre. Thank you so much. And Kerry, thank you again for having us. I greatly appreciate your partnership and also the opportunity to be a part of today's broadcast. Well, I am the Customer Solutions Facilitator for the Back to Work 50 Plus program, and I pretty much provide professional development training to educate our senior job seekers in obtaining the skills and also the resources that they need to be successful in their job search. And Kerry, you kind of alluded to this earlier, that the job search process, it has definitely changed significantly, especially within the last 17 months. And our program, the Back to Work 50 Plus program, was introduced in CareerSource Brevard in 2015, and it's really designed to help mature job seekers get the skills and the resources and also the training that they need to be successful in their job search. We really create a supportive environment where participants can regain their confidence, learn and apply strategies for in-demand jobs, upgrade their computer skills, and also get connected with employers. And we understand that our seniors face choices and pressures unlike any other age group. So really what the effort of the Back to Work program is to build a pipeline that connects seniors to in-demand jobs in their communities so that they're able to maintain an income stream as long as possible and also maintain their self-sufficiency as well. So with the Back to Work program, we do provide resume writing, interview preparation, assistance with supportive services, training, and so much more. So again, Kerry, thank you so much for having us today to share a little bit about our Back to Work program at CareerSource Brevard.
Yeah, thank you, Lois Thomas. You've been a friend of the Helping Seniors organization for a while. I remember you were kind enough to come down to the studios. You did a radio show with Joe, and you've really helped kind of like pave the way, and particularly since now we've all been through COVID and people are trying to get back into the, I guess I would call it the swing of things, and a little bit back to the way we are used to. You know, I was thinking about this because I get that little magazine that comes it's almost like a newspaper type of magazine that comes from AARP every other week in the mail. And I was reading an article in there that's just on point with what you're talking about. There was an article in, I guess it's the most recent edition, but it was about how you need to approach a resume in 2021. And I was looking through it and fascinated by the fact that some of the things that were kind of like old school things that you would do on a resume are not necessarily what employers are wanting or concerned about in today. And I also understand that a lot of, when you're going to apply and do things, a lot of this is done online anyway. So everything that we can do to get people prepared for the workforce is really going to be up to speed. Even if you had a lot of skills prior, it probably makes sense to get involved in this just to make sure that you've got all of this packaged the right way for how employers are looking for things today.
Absolutely, Kerry. And it's so funny that you mentioned the resume. I think that's one of the main reasons why people reach out to us. I actually encounter quite a bit of individuals who've never had to create a resume. So they have actually relied on previously going into a business, asking to speak with the manager, and then walking away with the job. Whereas now, that is not at all the case. They're actually tasked to apply online with their resume. So that's one of the things that we really spend a lot of time discussing is the resume and how they are to customize it for the job. Because there was a time where you could just submit a generic resume and hopefully hear back from an employer, whereas now we do have a lot of our employers using the applicant tracking software systems. So it's very important for our job seekers to customize their resumes for the jobs that they're interested in. Whether they're part-time opportunities or full-time opportunities, it's still very important to customize that resume for the jobs that they're going for. So we do have an introductory coaching program. We offer that typically twice a month. And with the introductory coaching program, we do cover an overview of the 7 SMART strategies to help assist them in their job search efforts. And then following the introductory workshop, they do have an opportunity to sign up for our interactive 3-day coaching program. So with the coaching overview, it's a general overview of the different strategies, whereas with the 3-day coaching program, it's a more in-depth coaching and training workshop series where they have an opportunity to learn about the resume writing, interviewing, job search skills, and so much more. So it's definitely important to prepare our mature job seekers and job seekers overall of how to better market themselves for in-demand opportunities that are available to them.
Yeah, and I was going to say, we're talking with Lois Thomas, who's Customer Solutions Facilitator with CareerSource Brevard and AARP Foundation's Back to Work 50-plus program, and we're talking about job opportunities. And, you know, if news reports are to be believed, it seems like this is almost a job seeker's market. Like if you can explain what you do and what you're interested in doing correctly, then you probably have some very good employment opportunities out there right now.
Absolutely. There are quite a few opportunities that are really in demand right now. And so it's so important for our job seekers to align themselves with those opportunities that are available to them. And if they need assistance, because we do understand that we have individuals that may need some help getting themselves aligned with those opportunities that are available to them, whether they need to brush up on working on their marketing skills or their interviewing skills, or even working on their resume, we are able to provide assistance with that. So we do have several industries that are growing. We did see quite an influx in the manufacturing industry. So there's quite a few positions available there. Opportunities across the board. So one of the things that we would encourage our job seekers to do is to get connected with our services here at CareerSource Brevard and also through the Back to Work program, so they are able to find out more about the in-demand opportunities and better market themselves for what's available to them.
No, that's so good, Lois. Now, here's a question. When you're talking about some of these different workshops that you guys offer, and it sounds like they happen on a fairly regular basis, if somebody's interested in that, is there a cost involved for people to take these workshops?
There's no cost associated with our program. So all of the services that we offer at CareerSource Brevard is free of cost. Also through the Back to Work 50-plus program, there's not a cost to any of our programs or services. So all of our services are free of cost.
Wow. Well, I want to stop you on that because I want to make sure. So not only if someone is thinking about, hey, I could use the benefit of some employment income, I've got the time, I feel like I'm ready to get back out and do something, I just need to kind of get pointed in the right direction. And you're saying that not only are you through CareerSource Brevard able to maybe connect with possible job opportunities, but more importantly, help somebody get, I guess I would call it trained so that they are ready to move back into the marketplace. And you're saying that is at no charge to the participant?
No charge at all to the participants, Kerry. And it's funny that you ask, because we do get that question a lot. I get the calls that come in from time to time, and once we share information about the services we provide, sometimes we get that question, is there a fee for this? And no, absolutely not. All of our services are free of cost, so that's a great thing and one of the benefits about our program and also the services at CareerSource Brevard.
Wow, because I'm thinking, you see all these things pop up, I'll help you write your resume for a fee, I'll help you coach you to get a job, and all those things end up costing a lot of money. And yet not only are you have those programs available, but more importantly, you're kind of experts in helping seniors navigate the marketplace, and you have that expertise and you have that specific focus. I mean, there couldn't be a better way to go about this. How do people, if they're hearing this and they say, hey, listen, I'm intrigued, I want to find out more, what are the ways people get in touch with you?
Okay. So for our Back to Work 50 Plus program, they can call the toll-free number, and that's 855-850-2525, or they can also register online. I would actually encourage all of our listening audience to just connect with us through our Facebook page, through our social media pages. We do have Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and also Instagram. They can also call the CareerSource Brevard direct line, and that's 321-504-7600. Again, that's 321-504-7600. And they can also visit our webpage at CareerSourceBrevard.com. And there they can find information of all of the programs and services offered at CareerSource Brevard, in addition to the Back to Work 50 Plus program as well.
Wow. What a phenomenal offering. I'm going to get you to repeat that here in a minute so folks get a minute to grab, a piece of notepaper or something where they can jot this down. But also, Lois, we take all of the programs we do and we archive them and make them available as podcasts on our helpingseniorsofbrevard.org website. We also have a YouTube channel where we put these up on. It's Helping Seniors of Brevard. And then we have our own Facebook page at Helping Seniors of Brevard. And we're going to make sure that these links are available, because if you're a person, or maybe you know a person that's just sitting around the house and they maybe really could benefit from either just there's several reasons seniors will want to go back to work, right, Lois? I'm sure you've seen it. Some it's monetary, but some it's also everything connected to just finding a sense of purpose and saying, hey, I still got a lot more in me I want to give. And so we're about out of time, but I want to make sure I get that phone number in and also the website one more time.
Okay. So CareerSource Brevard's website is CareerSourceBrevard.com. Again, they can visit our website and get information on the Back to Work 50 Plus program, in addition to all of our programs and services at CareerSource Brevard. They can also call our number. It is 321-504-7600. Again, that's 321-504-7600. And that is the direct line for CareerSource Brevard.
Wow. Well, thank you, Lois. We've been talking with Lois Thomas, who is Customer Solutions Facilitator with AARP Foundation Back to Work 50 Plus program, and also Deidre McVay-Schumeister, who's Programming Planning Officer, CareerSource Brevard, and really encourage you to get involved with all the things. It's going to be for your benefit. So thank you guys for being with us on the first part of the show. We got a lot more. We're going to be talking with Dr. Lee Sheldon as we come out of our mid-show break. So stay tuned for more Helping Seniors Radio. And welcome back to Helping Seniors Radio. It's Wednesday. It's lunchtime. This is what we do every Wednesday. We gather around the radio at lunchtime for great senior information radio with Helping Seniors Radio. And again, I'm Kerry Fink, and we're here on 90.3 FM WEJF. That's a strong 30,000 watt FM radio station. It blankets up and down the entire Space Coast. So we welcome listeners from MIMS to MICO. And also we want to welcome the online listeners who join us each week. They are tuning in on WEJF.net. You can listen live to the station there as well. And then if you enjoy the program, and certainly hope that you do, we always put these programs back out on the Helping Seniors of Brevard.org website. So you can, if you hear one that you say, wow, this is really good, I'd like Frank or Mary or whoever to hear it, then you can get a link and send it over to them. Same with our YouTube channel, Helping Seniors of Brevard, and our Facebook page, which is also Helping Seniors of Brevard. And so we are about to welcome our second half guest, Dr. Lee Sheldon, longtime friend of the Helping Seniors organization. He and our president and founder, Joe Steckler, go all the way back. Right, Dr. Sheldon?
Oh, wow. All the way back. My goodness, that sounds like so many years, Kerry.
Well,
we go back before Helping Seniors of Brevard. Joe and I were doing stuff together before that.
Well, you have a long and storied and excellent career as a noted area periodontist to the point where you now instruct other periodontists on how to successfully do their practices and things. And I remember, too, I love to tell the story that you were the guy who got, just like John Harper got Joe Steckler started on radio as he was building everything with Brevard Alzheimer's and getting those Joe's Club started. You got him started on TV.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
And
wow.
Now look, I'm his guest.
And look at this now. Helping Seniors is now, Dr. Sheldon, in its 10th year of operation. So we've been serving the county with the Brevard County Senior Information Line for 10 years now. And also, we are now closing in. I'm going to take a moment to do this right now, if it's okay, to talk about the fact that we're closing in on the 5th annual Helping Seniors car raffle. We're a Florida nonprofit, so we only exist through the support and help of folks like you. And one of the ways that you can do that, which is a really fun way to do it, and I would say potentially hugely profitable if you win the car, is the Helping Seniors car raffle. And Dr. Sheldon, on October 9th, we will be at the American Muscle Car Museum that evening for the grand drawing. Somebody's going to pick up their choice. They get to decide which one they want to take home. A 2021 Chevrolet Camaro, 2021 Dodge Challenger, 2021 Kia Sportage, or a 2020 Mazda Miata. And I'm trying to remember, Dr. Sheldon, if I have asked you what your preference would be if you won one of those cars. What do you like?
You know, I got to tell you, Kerry, I've always had this secret desire for a sports car, but never felt I should drive one.
Uh-huh.
So give me the Miata.
Oh, okay. You know, I am surprised at the number of people who pick the Miata. It's one of those cars. You know, I guess the last year we had fun. We're going to do it again. By the way, we had some of the ladies from Hibiscus Court come out, and from Seniors Helping Seniors come out, and they sort of formed up Team Chevy and Team Dodge, and had this kind of like racing rivalry where they were tooling around Mark Pylock's track there at the American Muscle Car Museum, and it was so much fun. In fact, the videos are out on the website. But it's amazing as I'm talking to people how many people really like that Mazda Miata convertible. And it's got, especially, you know, we live in a beach town, right? So you can pop the top down. It's a convertible, and you just look cool rolling down the street in that car too. It's amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody's ever claimed I look cool. This may be the first time in my life that would occur if I won this car.
Well, so that's a great way to do it. So what you do to get your tickets now, and folks, I'm telling you also, Dr. Sheldon's office is a ticket pickup point. So you can go to his office, and they'll be happy to get you set up with the Helping Seniors tickets. But you can also call our office, 321-473-7770, and get your tickets. Talk to Kim Bernard, our education specialist there. She'll be happy to get you connected. And if you want to get your tickets online and just get some good general information about the background, you can just visit helpingseniors.carraffle.com. But that's always the fun stuff we get to. We do so much serious stuff. You know, we take all these calls, and it's really important because we've helped more than 3,500 families in the 10-year history, free of charge. So seniors and their families, and some real sticky cases that Kim gets involved with. And when you get your ticket, that's the fun part of what we do. And certainly the party at the American Muscle Car Museum is worth the ticket almost by itself. And then maybe you win the car, but for sure you're helping us keep the work of Helping Seniors going, and that's important. So thanks in advance for getting your Helping Seniors car raffle tickets today and telling your friends to do the same. So with that, Dr. Sheldon, you know, I was perusing, you always do excellent articles. You've done so many TV shows over the years and radio shows as well. But you have an article in this month's edition of the Helping Seniors newsletter, which is published in the Senior Scene magazine, which is available at 500 pickup points around the county. And I think John tells me he does like 8,000 to 12,000 copies every month. But we've been and we talked about this on the radio. It's not our topic for today, but I want to point people to the article, The No Calculus Periodontitis. And I think that's, you know, we did a couple of radio shows. Those are available on our archive. And I think it really is helpful to understand that, because that was a whole new thing, Dr. Sheldon, that you talked about that I was never even really aware of.
Yeah, this is actually an aggressive periodontitis where people suddenly lose bone on their teeth. It can sometimes be widespread. Sometimes it's confined to the front teeth and to the first molars. But this is called an aggressive periodontitis. You'll find no calculus on the root, or very little calculus on the root, but what you will find is an aggressive type of bacteria, and we think the body's immune system is compromised and can't fight that bacteria.
Wow.
It needs to be approached. By the way, the teeth can be saved, and you get remarkable results. These are people who get 9, 10, 11, 12 millimeter pockets, and the bone is almost gone on the teeth, and then you take x-rays a year later, and the bone is almost all back. It looks horrible, and often you'll be told your teeth need to be extracted, and the answer is make sure you go to a periodontist before you make that decision, because an aggressive periodontitis can be treated, and the results can be quite gratifying. You don't have to lose your teeth.
You know, and I was thinking about that because you and Joe have done a number of TV shows, radio shows, where you've talked over the years, and you're like one of the leading experts in the area as it comes to dental implants. In fact, you kind of pioneered all that. But then you guys do I think it was a TV show where you said, are too many teeth being extracted? And I guess the point of it was you wanted to make sure that those teeth really needed to come out before we just went all the way to implants or things like that.
Yeah, it's true. There's an awful lot of assumptions that are made, and I think until you see a periodontist, you don't know whether those assumptions are true. There are many, and I'm going to say probably more times than not, teeth are recommended to be extracted when in fact they can be saved. It's a serious problem, and I think if that decision is being made without seeing a periodontist, you're not going as far as you should in order to be able to make that decision. I can't tell you how many people I've seen through my entire career where they were told they needed to have their teeth extracted, and we've saved them. And it didn't require a lot of work to save them either. It's just a matter of having the training to do so. You have a heart problem, go to cardiothoracic surgeon. You have a periodontal problem, go see a periodontist.
Well, and we get inundated. We see these ads on TV, and they just say, hey, you can get your whole smile done in a day or something. And it just seems like, oh, that's so easy. But I remember we've even talked about this on the radio. Is like, you have to understand everything about this before you move into it. And if you have good teeth or teeth that could be saved, why would you want to go necessarily all the way over to the expense and everything that you have to do to get to that point? Couldn't you take it step by step?
Yeah, it's true. And the diagnosis is as important, if not more important, than the treatment. So go through the diagnostic steps. When people come to our office, and I'm not selling my office. That's not the idea, selling people who come into the idea. But when they come to our office, it's a 2-hour visit, and we're taking CT scans and full-mouth x-rays, and we're doing a full periodontal probing examination, evaluating the bite, evaluating even the teeth for tooth decay. Even though I'm a periodonist, I certainly look at the tooth decay part of it as well, and go through the entire process and then come up with probabilities of, if we do this, this will happen. If we do this, this will happen, in order to be able to get a full assessment. Sometimes we may snap our fingers too fast and say, well, this tooth needs to come out, or this tooth needs whatever treatment it needs, without doing the full assessment first.
Well,
periodontists are used to saving teeth. Periodontists also are trained in doing dental implants. In fact, one of the biggest advantages of seeing a periodontist, the periodontist has the wherewithal to save the tooth or to do the dental implant, and therefore can kind of give you a good judgment call as to which way might be better. And it's never a 100%, 0% type of probability. It's 55-45, the 60-40, that type of thing, where you're taking advantage of somebody with the expertise and in knowing what he or she can do with implants and what he or she can do with saving teeth.
And I know you guys are a full service now, because your son is, and I love to say this because he was named one of the 40 best dentists under 40, which has to make you the proud papa anyway. So I know you guys do. You guys have the capacity to serve on all sides of this, but I guess a lot of people may go to a regular general dentist, and they may not have the training in periodontics, so they just go, I don't know what to do with this tooth. Maybe you need to go get an implant someplace.
Well, correct. And a good general dentist will say exactly that, and they'll say, let's refer you to a periodontist.
Uh-huh.
And then the general dentist and the periodontist will collaborate together. It was, It was great. I mean, this was a referral practice for most of my career. It was great. You know, we'd have our relationships with the dentist and have a relationship with the patient, and the patient would see both of us, and some patients say, well, I don't want to go to two different offices, and I understand that downside. But it still can be a very rewarding relationship by seeing two people, the general dentist and the periodontist, or whatever other specialist you need, and let the general dentist coordinate treatment and let the specialist have input. After all, you know, if you go to the Mayo Clinic, what do? You see a number of specialists in order to be able to come up with what the most appropriate diagnosis and treatment plan might be. Same thing can happen in dentistry. Yes, you might have to go to more than one office, but okay, you got to go to more than one office. That's not as big a deal as one might say. And so while we do have the advantage of having restorative dentistry and periodontics all under one roof, including dental implants, that doesn't mean that you can't see your general dentist and ask your general dentist to refer you to a periodontist if the general dentist doesn't refer you to the periodontist on his or her own.
Yeah, and before the show is over, I'm going to get you to talk about a program that actually is very helpful to us as a charity, Helping Seniors of Brevard, but also very valuable to you as a listener because you're going to get some real insight. You're going to get an opportunity to help us, but also help yourself as it comes to getting into a full evaluation of what's really going on so that you don't have to just like watch a commercial and go, well, that's what I have to do. You don't have to just pull a solution out of the air. You can actually get some real expert advice on that. So we're going to come back to that, but I do want to get into the topic that we actually assigned ourselves for today because I guess we're reading it. There was a picture of you in the newspaper where you were talking about this challenge. And, you know, as a kid growing up in the 60s, for me, I remember just thinking fluoride in water, this is the great thing. This is going to stop cavities. And so all these years, I guess we've had fluoride in water, but now I guess we're taking a look at if that's still necessary.
Well, we're even not whether it's necessary, because it's not. If we look at fluoridated communities and non-fluoridated communities or non-fluoridated countries, the rate of tooth decay has gone down dramatically in both the fluoridated and non-fluoridated countries. So there's something else going on besides fluoridated water that is solving the problem. If fluoridated water is solving the problem at all, and I don't think it is. Uh-huh. But fluoridated water has been something that we've lived with since the 1950s, or actually since 1950, and fluoride has been put into water supplies in about 73% of the communities in the United States. But it's interesting, it's not done all over the world. As a matter of fact, there are more people in the United States drinking fluoridated water than the entire world put together.
Wow.
It's been a very, very good public relations campaign, and I've got to compliment the public relations aspect of it. But in terms of the safety, in terms of what we're getting, it's not what you think.
Wow. So,
you know, we look at fluoride in toothpaste. Or you go out and you go to CVS. I went to CVS a few weeks ago. I bought Crest toothpaste, $2.36. That has fluoride in it.
Uh-huh.
It has pharmaceutical-grade fluoride in it. That means that 99% of the fluoride in the Crest toothpaste is real fluoride, pharmaceutical-grade.
Oh, wow.
If you look at fluoride in the water supply in Brevard County, that is hydrofluorosilicic acid.
That doesn't sound encouraging.
Well, here's where hydrofluorosilicic acid comes from. It comes from the phosphate industry in Polk County, Florida.
Ah.
And here's what happened in the 1960s. They found out that where they were using phosphate, where they were refining phosphate in order to be able to provide artificial or phosphate fertilizers, they found out that the cows were getting sick and the vegetation was dying.
Oh, no.
They looked into it and they found out what was causing it. Oh, it was the fluoride that was part of the process in making this fertilizer.
Oh, wow.
So what they did was come up with a fluoride scrubbing technique. And they took the fluoride out of the phosphate fertilizer and the cows lived. And the vegetation recovered.
Wow.
And what they said was, all right, good, we can dump this stuff in the water supply and people will drink it, it'll be good for their teeth.
So the fluoride in the water, and I guess this is a naive question, but it doesn't occur natural. It's actually something that's added into the water supply.
Yeah, it is added into the water supply. It's and by the way, what is in that recovery process, where they're recovering from the phosphate industry, is only 23% hydrofluorosilicic acid. The other 77% is other stuff that some of which isn't even tested for. Example, aluminum.
Wow.
And there have been numerous studies, and you know about these, numerous studies that show the relationship between aluminum and Alzheimer's disease.
Yes.
And there has been some research to show that fluoride combined with aluminum crosses the blood-brain barrier more readily than aluminum alone.
Wow.
So if you look at and by the way, aluminum is not even tested for in the water supply.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Do you see why I am so? By the way, I've only come out publicly against fluoridation in the past few months with what's going on in MIMS and what happened in Melbourne a couple of years ago. But I didn't come out in Melbourne. I didn't say something, but finally I had to say something in MIMS. And it's controversial. And dentists look at me like I'm a pariah. What's the matter with you? You know, don't you want to save people's teeth and all? The amount of misinformation that we have as consumers and the amount of misinformation that we have as dentists is legion. It's legion. There is so much misinformation out there, and there's so much of a lack of awareness of what's going on. You've got the American Dental Association and the American Academy of Pediatrics, and you got American Medical Association. Everybody's cheering on this fluoride. Frankly, the fluoride they're using now is not even the fluoride they used in 1950. It's totally different stuff.
Wow.
Not that wasn't pharmaceutical grade fluoride either. That was also recovered from an industrial process. So yeah, there's a lot of misinformation. There are a lot of things that we're looking at or have been looked at with good studies with regard to reduction in IQ in kids as a result of drinking fluoridated water, as a result of the pregnant moms drinking fluoridated water. Really well done studies that have come out over the past 4 years that essentially will turn the tide, and fluoridation, as we see it now, should end. It must end, because it's not good for anyone's health.
Well, that's actually a note that we had written down to actually talk about is like, does fluoridation potentially cause harm? You know, like, well, for seniors, does it matter for seniors?
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at there, and I'm only a reporter here. I'm not a researcher. But besides the potential for aluminum getting into the brain, and the fact that people are drinking fluoridated water, and they're drinking 10, 15, 20, sometimes 100 times as much concentration of aluminum as they should be ingesting. Yeah, that's a problem if it's not being tested for, and it's not being tested for. There's no government agency that's monitoring the fluoride that's going into our system. It's required in our water supply, and I'm talking about in Brevard County, they test one of the batches of this fluoride compound once a year to see what's in it.
Wow.
And they don't test it for everything that's in it. So we really don't even know what we're drinking. Then you look at hip fractures. Well, you know, if you get a hip fracture, you have a 30% chance of dying within the year after the hip fracture. Well, fluoride itself was originally proposed to strengthen bone. And at times they were doing fluoride supplementation, particularly for those people who had brittle bones. And what they found is that the bones were more brittle, not less. And so they don't do that fluoride therapy anymore.
Wow.
But if you're drinking fluoridated water, it's still going into your bones, and it'll make your bones more dense. In other words, if you look at the bone on a CT scan or an X-ray, it'll look more dense. But it's also much more brittle. And so we have more hip fractures in the United States than any place else. We also have more fluoridated water, more people drinking fluoridated water than any place else. Can we say there's a cause and effect? Well, this is called associated data.
Mm-hmm.
But there's enough data coming out now comparing hip fractures in fluoridated communities versus non-fluoridated communities that is getting very, very close to saying, hey, this may be contributing to hip fractures as well.
Wow.
And other fractures.
Interesting discussion. I have one question before I want to make sure we reserve time to get information about getting an appointment to get things checked out over at your offices. But I do want to ask this question. So, because in our house, it's interesting. I'll run over to the refrigerator, stick a cup under the little spigot that puts out the water and drink that. I'm fine with that. My wife, she only drinks bottled water. What is what she's doing right? Because that may not have the fluoridation, or what's your view on that?
What we know is this: distilled water and reverse osmosis water will have the fluoride removed.
Uh-huh.
The traditional filters, the carbon filters, doesn't remove the fluoride.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending upon the source of the water that Tammy is drinking, you would know. I would go to that particular company. You can go on the website and you can see what's actually in that water.
Good to know. Well, that's a fascinating discussion, because I guess most of us don't even think in that direction, and we just assume that it's for our benefit since it's in there. But how often have we heard that joke? Sometimes I'm here from the government and I'm here to help you. And it seems like this is a case where it does make sense as the information becomes clearer that maybe this is not something that's necessary going forward.
It will. There's even a lawsuit against the Environmental Protection Agency right now that's being it's actually been going on for well over a year, and the judge is taking some of this evidence quite seriously. He's waiting for a new toxicology study to come out,
wow.
And then that will be submitted, and then he'll make his judgment. But right now, certainly, if you read the article in Florida Today, which I would say was a highly biased article, you can see that public opinion says, "Oh, don't take my fluoride away; it's a health food," and it's nothing. People just don't have the information.
Yeah, well, you will have to keep us posted on this as we go forward. But in about a minute, can you give us the quick view of this great offer? If somebody gives a call, it's a fundraiser because you write a check to Helping Seniors, but then you get really a real professional understanding of what's going on with your mouth.
It's true. So all you do is call the office. You say you're being referred by Helping Seniors of Brevard. Jenna will say, "That's great." And once you come to the office, you write a check for $50 to Helping Seniors of Brevard, and you'll get the X-rays, CT scan, full evaluation. You'll be in the office for 2 hours. You'll either learn to love us or otherwise. We will go over in detail everything that I think or that we think is appropriate for treatment. By the way, everything that's not appropriate for treatment as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great value because all that stuff is included. And you've explained before, you like having the opportunity to get the full picture on someone so that you can really be in a place to help them. So what's the number they call if they want to call Jennifer and say, "Hey, I want to check this out"?
That's area code 321-259-8000.
One more time.
321-259-8000.
And we're talking with Dr. Lee Sheldon, noted area periodontist. Thanks for sharing. You're always bringing us good information. We'll look forward to continuing the conversation on fluoride as this whole thing kind of moves along. But thanks for joining us today. And really thank you, listener, for joining us today on Helping Seniors Radio. On behalf of our president and founder, Joe Steckler, as well as Kim Bernard, our education specialist, it's always a pleasure to have you along with us. And we'll see you next week right here, Wednesday, 12 noon, for Helping Seniors Radio.